My name is Corey Williams, and I'm the state manager with Lincoln Heritage here in the beautiful state of Missouri. And I'm excited to bring on my guest today, Mr. Gabe Penn with the Penn Group. Gabe has been with Lincoln Heritage for over 11 years now and has built a very nice organization and residual income and all those kinds of things. And we love having people on with just kind of different perspectives and of Lincoln and how people have gotten successful as agents, but as well as managers as well. So I'm excited to bring Gabe on and learn a little bit more about what Gabe and his organization do. So Gabe, what's up, man?
Hey, Corey. Thanks for having me on, brother.
No problem, man. We try to find some key people here at Lincoln that are doing some big stuff. And I haven't been here that long, but I always see your name. I see you're posting consistently. I see your beautiful family. And obviously you guys have grown a massive organization here. So I just wanted to get started again. Thank you. God bless you for being on. We really appreciate your time. And hopefully, something will come out of this, but you just never know, right?
Yeah.
So, Gabe, I think you told me I see the KU basketball over your shoulder. So I think you're in the Bengals helmet there. So go Bears. I'm a huge Bears fan. We're having a big year this year. So you're in Lexington, huh?
Yes, sir. Yeah. From Central Kentucky, Eastern Kentucky, working a little bit in West Virginia, wherever the leads are, but yeah, living in Central Kentucky.
Absolutely. And how long have you been with Lincoln, and what did you do prior to coming to the organization?
I've been with Lincoln 11 years now, and I really didn't know or do too much before Lincoln Heritage. My uncle was with Lincoln Heritage before, and he was trying to get me to come. I said, "Come on board with this final expense opportunity." And at the time, I was in college and finishing up my MBA, and I thought, and I pushed him off for a couple of years. And now looking back, I was like, gosh, wish I would have got into this sooner. But, people, a lot of times they hear, this opportunity and, they hear about commission sales, and it can sometimes frighten some people away because, a lot of times people, they want to try to have a sure thing. But really nothing's a sure thing in this world, but with us, if you go to work, it is a sure thing. We have the people to see. That's why we're on here trying to get more and more reps.
Yeah.
We cannot serve, we need more people to be able to serve our clients.
Yeah. And we're the same way here in Missouri. Like, we have so many leads. We don't have enough reps to actually run them, which is a great problem to have. But we're looking for everybody. We're looking for the right people that check the right boxes and that are looking to build and grow. So you mentioned 11 years. That's a long time, man. I've been in the industry for 20, 25, 26 years. And I've definitely been at more than one place in 10 years. I can tell you that. Why have you stuck with Lincoln? I'm sure you've had, opportunity to go to different organizations. I know people still reach out to me. So why have you stuck with Lincoln?
Well, the longer that you do this, the more and more confidence that you begin to create, with this company, because you see it from a day-to-day standpoint of how this company treats you and how they treat the clients. And then on the worst day of their life, which is the most important time when they really need somebody to show up, that to see this company and how they operate and how they treat the communities and the people they serve, that right there, you have confidence in knowing that, one, that this company is going to be around long term. Because being in this industry for 11 years, I've seen companies come in, smaller companies, they might, acting like they have the brightest and best thing, cheaper price. A lot of agents, they tend to flock towards a shiny thing initially. But with Lincoln, they've been doing this so long that they know how this industry, they have mastered this industry on serving these clients. And to know that Lincoln Heritage is going to be there for years to come, to be able to continue to pay your renewals, that the customer, it's so interesting in these communities and smaller rural communities, even funeral homes or people, they see my car, have a big wrap on there, Lincoln Heritage. They say, "Oh, my sister or my brother had Lincoln Heritage." And I said, "Well, how are they still with us?" And he passed. And I said, "Well, how'd they do today? They take care?" "Oh man, they were fantastic. They paid so quickly. It wasn't an issue at all. We didn't have to worry about nothing." And then you hear about so many of these other horror stories from some of these shinier things that maybe agents have got sucked into, and clients waiting months and long periods of time in order to get paid, or agents not getting renewals. And I've so many agents over the years I've talked, been in the life insurance business, been doing this a long time. I say, how much residual income you got come in? You have how much? A lot of them don't have any at all. A lot of
Yeah.
them, don't have what some of these Lincoln Heritage agents have, and that's because they have the system in place. They have the pay through. They've been doing this for so long, and your confidence in the company. And Lincoln just becomes part of your heart. I would say, in this business we talk about heart when you're selling. Sell from the heart. Help serve clients from the heart. But also, it becomes part of your heart because you see this time and time again. So many claims that I have seen. I'll tell a quick story, man. I had a lady on a claim, and Lincoln paid this claim, man. It was a reinstatement, and uh, they had a reinstatement, and it was basically a claim that they did not actually had to pay, but they paid it anyway. I'll just keep it short. And there's
Yeah.
been so many stories like that over the years that you just that's where your faith grows in this company.
Absolutely. It's interesting that you just brought that up because I didn't know you were going to say that. And I had been on one of our producers, our top producers and managers here in St. Louis. We recently had a situation where one of his clients was reached out to by a very, very large organization, company, if you will, that does final expense, right? And
Mm-hmm.
what happened is they were told that it was I'm trying to say this and not step on the company's feet, right? What they were
Yeah.
told was that this particular program was going to be X number of dollars, and it was like $50 for a 75-year-old lady, and for 20 grand. We know that's not true. That's not going to happen.
Right.
But the lady
Right.
called because trusted Ben to drop coverage. She was literally
Mm.
going to drop her coverage, and we're like, man, before we do that, why don't we make sure we call first to make sure that the coverage that they're telling you're going to get. So we were able to talk to her literally today and to stop her
Mm-hmm.
from doing that. Like, there's a lot of stuff out there that people are doing that they shouldn't. And we know that Lincoln, she has a policy with us. We're like, before you cancel anything, let us help you with that before you have some issue and you don't have coverage. So she's got all kind of medical conditions and everything else, but we know something happens to her, Lincoln's going to pay out.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's kind of how Lincoln Heritage is instilled in me, and also in this extraordinary company that we have with the Ross and Phillips Group. They instill in us a level of service, and that's what you're doing. You're talking about right there is service, and that you didn't have to call that lady back and say, "Hey, man, what?" A lot of these agents out there, it's just to go into the house, make a quick commission, leave, never talking to them again. I have always instilled in myself and in other agents service, because the more the relationship building that you build with these clients, they become just like me and you, or the Ross and Phillips Group, a family culture. But also the clients become like a family culture too, because a lot of them, they don't have nobody out there in the world that cares about them. I
Correct.
have clients, and I know you do too, and other members in the Ross and Phillips Group. We tell each other we love each other. I mean, we really, this is something, I tell them, I say, on the worst day of your life, when you call, I'm going to pick up that phone. And you make that promise to them. But that has been instilled in me through Lincoln Heritage, and now with the Ross and Phillips Group, is, that level of service. And that right there is something that, a lot of other companies are not. I'm not saying all of them don't, but most of them don't instill that kind of stuff in people.
I agree. I agree 100%. So you started here 11 years ago. I think you started building an organization pretty quickly. Again, both of us kind of veterans in this industry. You have your ups and your downs. You have your good years, your bad years, and those kind of things.
Yep.
Why would you say if an agent or somebody that's not licensed, maybe what's going on, the stuff with the economy and people are losing their jobs, large companies that you mentioned it earlier, people feel comfortable or they feel safe. I know a lot of people that I know and love and care about that have been at jobs for a long time, and they're not safe right now. They don't feel safe.
Right.
They don't know if they're going to keep their job. What would you say to somebody that might be curious about this, or maybe like, oh my God, commission sales, those kind of things? What would you say to that person?
Well, a lot of times we look for a specific person in this kind of business, and I'll just share a little bit from my experience. When I got into this, I was kind of beat down in a sense, and we look for somebody that maybe has a little bit of grit about them. Or I do, that maybe had a butt whooping in
Yep.
a certain area of their life.
Yeah.
Whether they've gone through some kind of financial hardship or divorce or just anything, maybe not at the highest point in their life, and you have a feeling inside of yourself that's saying, maybe I'm worth more than what I'm getting paid right now, first off. And then it has to be that kind of attitude about yourself that you just sick and tired of being sick and tired. And and I think comes down to like a spiritual thing too, and people being ready and at the right place in their life for this opportunity, because sometimes it's not easy.
Right.
But having a job is not easy either. Not being able to pay the electric bill is not easy. It's just
Yeah.
whatever kind of easy that you want to pick. Getting up on a snowy day and starting your car freezing cold and going to leads that it might be older, if you've been to already at the house, and then knocking on their door for the second or third time. A lot of times that's not easy. And if you've seen
Right.
somebody that's been in this industry a long time, and there's different levels of success, obviously we have our regional director, Marty Rawson, and then there's success like that. And then there's other levels of it. But, there's a lot to be said if somebody has been here a long time. They have been through some stuff to stay here. And we talk about being Lincoln tough. I've heard that over the years. You get Lincoln tough. And, because you're going to have to go through some things. And you're going to have that kind of mindset that what am I going to do when I get kicked down and kicked in the mouth?
Yeah.
But the people, what I would say to the person is, there's not an industry out there in the world that you can go out. And this is what has always just excited me about this business. I start talking about it, I get fired up, because it's like, where are you going to go? You make one sale, you sit with an elderly lady or man, you have a great conversation, maybe have a cup of coffee, make friends with them, write them a plan, and then you are going to continue to keep getting paid on that policy. And I remember, when I first started in this, and I was broke and beat down, and I had an SUV. I drove a Ford Explorer to my leads, and not a gas, a good, lead running car. And but as I continue to make sales and help families, I continue to see my paychecks continue to climb. But where can you go at a job most of the time and start to see yourself building something
That's
like
right.
that? And you get excited. It gets excited every month that you see that thing growing and growing and growing and growing. And you get excited about it for you and your family, because you're getting paid even when you're not working. But there's not an industry out there in the world. And I was always just, excited about that when people told me, and after you've been doing this for so long, it's some people will start to see they say, watch who you watch, or what, but people are watching you. And that's why we do stuff like this, because obviously, hopefully people are watching. And they're like,
Yeah.
gosh, I have seen that Corey, looking at how he's living, where he was and where he is now. Maybe that insurance opportunity is something that I can do too. And it's not that we're looking for, superstar, slick talking people. We're looking for good people. We're looking for loyal people, and we're looking for service oriented people. And if you have right there, just like our rest of it, if you can read, write, and comprehend, we can help you.
Oh yeah, for sure. My last couple questions, and that was good. I've never heard the Lincoln Tough. I'm stealing that. That's pretty good. I like it a lot, and it's true. It's not the easiest thing in the world that we do, but it is very comprehensive. If you're willing to be a student of the game, you're willing to be coachable. I think anybody can that fits those KPIs. Anybody can do this. It's and that 9 to 5 that people feel like is safe and all those kinds of things. My last question to you, Gabe, well, probably going to be one more, but my last question to you is, and I kind of asked this already. I asked the difference, the Penn difference, but why would somebody join Lincoln Heritage? And just as if not more specifically, why would someone join your organization?
Well, I could go down probably a multitude of reasons why, you join Lincoln Heritage. One, they're #1 final expense company in the world. They care about their agents. We have FCGS, which is that no other company out there has. But also we have a family culture. They treat you like a rock star. You know, I mean, what company, I'd have on my anniversaries, and probably you too, you're having the vice presidents of the company, saying congratulations on another year, another anniversary, or even people in the leads department commenting on your Facebook page saying congratulations, get married. It becomes like a family culture over a long period of time. When you're, a lot of people, agents I talk to, they're in these bigger IMOs and things like that. It boils down to you just, you kind of just a number and get pushed to the side. We are really about changing people's lives. We're not here to bring you in to try and you to fail. We are invested in your success. If you win, we win. That's how we look at it, like that, building people and changing lives. And that's the same not only with selling, but also with recruiting agents. Is that we want you to come in and we want you to stay here for life and stick and stay. And agents will want to, because
Yeah.
we're treated so good. We're treated like rock stars that there's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go.
It's funny you mentioned treat it like rock stars. So Ben went out to the Mr. London golf tournament a couple months ago, and it was so funny. He's calling me and he's like, "Dude, this is incredible!" Like, and he came from a large corporation. I've never been treated like this before ever. And they gave me money for leads, and they gave me money for just all these other things. And the golf was amazing, and people at home office. And I walked into the home office, and people literally everybody, customer service stood up, walked over, and came and shake my hand. This is an $11 billion company that
Right.
operates like a small boutique. So I don't think people give that enough credit, enough praise, because I've worked at large corporations before where I've been a senior executive. Those kind of things don't happen because people usually don't take the time to do that kind of stuff, and it makes a
Right.
difference. And it does give
Well,
you that family feel.
yeah. Oh, sorry to interrupt. But anyway,
No,
like
you're good.
what, well, also it's just come to my mind. We're not looking at what kind of degrees you got. We're not worried about your credit score. To a certain extent, we're not really even worried if you've been kicked in the mouth in the past. If you
Yeah.
can read, write, and comprehend, have a heart for service, you can take somebody like me. I came from a rocky background, had some addiction issues. Got it, been clean over 13 years now. And
Congratulations, man.
yeah, thank you. Yeah. So, I mean, something like that, I had a lot of years that I thought I was just going to be a failure in life. I didn't think that I deserved anything any better. I was lucky to even have a job. I remember, and it's a lot of these moments, and there's a lot of people out there that are maybe listen to this or whatever, and they're thinking like this, but there's certain moments that happen. There's special moments, and they're right in the heart. And that's what makes an agent just turns it on and makes them ready for this thing, because you remember them moments. And I remember, and trying to flip my life around, and I was working a job, and I remember it was an internship. It was the only time I've waited tables, and I've interned, and I sold insurance. That's all I know how to do.
Mhm.
And I had an internship for like 60 days. And I just remember the feeling of being just not valued, low on the totem pole, people not even looking at me, saying hello. Um, and I knew right then, that was not for me. And but it had to come from, some years of being kicked in the mouth, having some low points, to really appreciate what we have here in this insurance industry, because you're going to have tough times. That's why you have an upline. We have fantastic leadership in the Ross and Phillips group.
Yep.
I know you all do at
Oh,
Memorial Gardens. And that right there, that kind of leadership is what gets you from year to year, from obstacle to obstacle. And when you don't have that, that's why a lot of agents fail, because when you have a family culture and you feel like that somebody actually does care about you, you know, then you can get over those obstacles, because they are going to come. But there's going to be a lot more triumphs than there are obstacles. But I just remember that, man. We don't care about none of that. We'll give somebody the opportunity that everybody else overlooked. Everybody else counted out, said that you wasn't going to amount to nothing. Maybe somebody talked to you crazy, and you remember that, and you have that little bit of grit in you, that's the kind of person that we're looking for. If that's you, that you need to call this number or get with Corey or get on the get up with the Ross and Phillips group, because we can change your life. We can absolutely change your life if you've got that kind of attitude.
Absolutely. You can reach Gabe at 606-794-7535. Gabe, it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure to have you on. I know you and I have not had the chance to connect like this, so it's great to kind of slow things down in our fast pace. Happy holidays to you and your family.
You too, brother.
For being on. If anybody reaches out to me, I'll make sure they get to you. What places are you and your agency building in right now specifically?
Focused on Kentucky, Central, Eastern Kentucky, and West Virginia.
Okay, perfect. I guarantee there'll be people reach out, and I'll definitely get them to you. Gabe,
Yeah.
thanks for your time. Happy holidays.
Thank
Thank you very much for being on.
You too.
Right. So again, just it was an honor to have Gabe on. Hopefully he was able to bring some insight. Our organization is growing like crazy. If you're interested in finding out more about what we do and having a one-on-one conversation or interview, phone number is 877-959-6797. Again, 877-959-6797. Again, you can reach Gabe as well if you want to reach him directly at 606-794-7535. Thank you again for watching this. Bye for now.